As we know, we are in the 2025 calendar year proceedings, which is only as truth has things. And since we're now in 2025, I was hoping to do this about a day or two earlier, but as you know, I fell ill with thankfully a short illness, and thank goodness I was not in the hospital. Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness, because some people get ill to the point of going to hospital, as we know. Not to show anything bad, but it's just a point for some. It's just a pointed truth for some people. But that's beside the point. Yes, but I booted the short illness, but had it worse than I otherwise would have years ago. Not considerably, but took me had it a little longer and had more of an effect, if you like. So, but that once again is beside the point. But since we've now got to 2025, this is the year now to, if above and beyond anything, it is time to talk about the flashbackable memories of 2024. Yes, and certain highlights, the highlighting flashbackable memories of 2024. And I have to say, it's been quite a lot. Certainly a very, very great many. A lot of things have happened in 2024, but some of the biggest highlights of 2024 was I pioneered live streaming content on my channel. For the first, I have done attempts before, but they didn't work. But for the first time ever in the history of my content, I pioneered live streaming, which fortunately worked for the first time ever. On the 21st of May of 2024, it was a test live stream and it worked. It worked, and I was astonished and pleased, which after that, the test live stream, and then I did an impromptu live stream the next day, thanking all of you for the success and how it went amazingly well, the test live stream. The day I did it, it went amazingly well. Had Hutch and Rick Paul on as guests. It was good to have Hutch and Rick on board that live stream, and I'm hoping to do a podcast with Hutch and Rick in the future, with me interviewing them, because I'm aiming to launch a podcast series come 2025 to do 1 or 2 podcast episodes per month. And it's going to be something to look forward to. There are many things to look forward to come 2025, but things to talk about from 2024 when looking back on the memories. So yes, a wonderful memory. Actually, I'm very happy with this memory. Was pioneering live streaming content that, albeit fortunately, worked. Which the test live stream and then the impromptu live stream, thanking everybody for the success of the test live stream. This showcased the beginning of the inspirational live streams I did. It really showcased the inspirational live streams within my content, which I do generally, as you know, on a weekly basis. I do goodness knows how many every single week, as you know, but I enjoy it. I well and truly enjoy it greatly. And, so yes, that was a big highlight of 2024. And another highlight for 2024 was I pioneered going to Detling Festival of Transport and the Hastings Commemorative Military Vehicle event. It would have pleased Betty and Steve Gregson because Steve was ex-military, which he served in the armed forces from 1974 to 1993, according to Betty herself. And that was also a nice highlight, encountering Betty and Steve Gregson, and they were very nice to me. They're friends. They've personally met Graham and Fiona, Graham the Baron and Fiona Hesketh. They've both met, and they're friends and they personally know each other. And there was the video of them, and Betty even mentioned me in the video, only to have heard from her within about a week or so, or about a good few days, a week or so later, coincidentally. And Steve too, and Steve was like, honestly, Foxy, if we could, we'd treat you to a pint at the pub. Betty and Steve, I'd have a pint with you at the pub any day. Yes, I would certainly do one, but I'm limited to how much I can drink, you know. It's 4 pints and that would get me drunk. If I had 5 pints, I'm hammered drunk to the point where I'm so pissed, drunk that is, where I couldn't walk out the pub if I had 5 pints. So I think 2 or 3 pints would be the limit for me if I was having a pint out with you both. But that's beside the point. But that was a nice highlight. Betty and Steve Gregson, and who mentioned me in Graham and Fiona's video, only to have heard from them not so long ago later. And another coincident flashbackable memory of 2024 was Janet Smith. I'd commented on a channel membership only video of Graham. Janet was there, and I said to Janet, I agreed to a point she shared and said hello and so. It was the day I had a live stream scheduled, in fact. And then hours later I live streamed, and coincidentally, Janet came on the live stream the day I conversed with her. She just stumbled over to the live stream. I was like, oh my goodness, Janet? Janet Smith? Hello? Yes, that was quite a coincidental memory. Yes, you know, but yes, that was a nice coincidence. Betty and Steve, Janet Smith, yes. And another flashback highlighting memory of 2024, obviously pioneering going to Detling, and and of course Hastings commemorative military vehicle event, and all that, you know, and all the rest of it. And what's next? Then I pioneered going to the Brighton Ace Incarnation event. I didn't see a lot of it because I was a little, because I was quite tired, but I'm hoping to see more of it for 2025, the Incarnation event, and obviously the East Grinstead LT Country Bus Rally event. No, actually I pioneered going there in 2022, that event, but I still went there, you know. But what other were there new events I'd never been to? There was going to be a new event I was going to go to, but didn't get the chance because of camera recorder issues, but otherwise I would have gone. But I pioneered riding the new, which only ran temporarily, but there is a chance of the route being reinstated come spring 2025, fingers crossed, but might need to re-evaluate the timetable come winter time because it didn't do so well in the winter, was the Stagecoach Bus Route 701. So I pioneered riding that only once, but hoping it runs again in the spring. I think really, ideally, if it didn't do so well in the winter, or just before the winter starting point proceedings, but did well in spring, summer and autumn, I think it's by and large an ideal bus route for the spring, summer and autumn, if above and beyond anything, in my opinion. But it's up to Stagecoach to decide when they're going to run it, or whether or not to give a full reinstallation of the route itself and all that. No, it was lack of viability in the winter, but it did viably well in the spring, summer and autumn, the new route. It was new, but stopped in the winter, which disappointed myself, and not only that, it disappointed David, but he got a ride on it. He got his ride on it. And, oh yes, another thing I pioneered for 2024 was pioneering going to Seaford Motorfest event. I pioneered that. And then there was another event I pioneered, I can't remember the name. It was the RNL charity event for its 100th anniversary. For its over 100th anniversary, RNF. I really can't remember the name. My brain's getting a bit tired and a little slow. Oh, damn. Aging. For some. So that was another thing I pioneered. And and what else did I pioneer for 2024? Oh yes, I most notably pioneered going to the Lansing Classic Car Show event on the 29th of September 2024, and I also pioneered going to the Amberley Transport Museum. That was another thing I pioneered for 2024. So there were quite a few things I pioneered, and one of the greatest things I pioneered in 2024 was making live stream appearances with other YouTubers, and that was fun. Making a live stream appearance was fun. The first time I made a live stream appearance was on Graham's flight simulator live stream. It was Graham Sapper and I. It was Graham Sapper and I at first, because I joined in. But then Sapper left and it was just Graham and I for a moment, and then I left and then he ended the live not too long after. And that was, we had an enlightening chat together, Graham and I, and people tuned in to watch us. I didn't think many would, but they did. And that was when I first became familiar and really had a conversant moment with Heather Arredondo. And Heather said some nice things about me. She actually said I looked very cute. She's a lovely mother with 2 grown-up sons at 21 and 19. So her sons, they're younger than I, because I'll be 24, which obviously might come as a surprise to Heather, because I'm 24 this year, 25 in 2026, Heather, I think she's going to be 50 this year, and she considered me cute. Oh, she said I was cute. Heather, the little 5'4" lady with a great big tall and huge 6'5" man she married, So that was quite a notable highlight, getting conversant with Heather and watching a few live streams of Sue Smith, but I never made an appearance on her live streams, but maybe 2025 I'll make a live stream appearance with her. It's a lovely lady, Sue. Trevor speaks very, very highly of Sue. Very, very highly of Sue. And Sue even saw me on Duchess Blair's live stream. I made a few appearances with Duchess Blair's live stream, sharing certain political and royal insight points quite a few times, so that was quite a highlight for 2024, and she even ended up watching my content from time to time. And I'd like to interview Duchess Blair on my content one day. I'd like to have her on. She's very good, very, very good YouTuber. Fantastic with royal insight, with insights, political or royal, and all the rest of it, Fantastic in every way. And I even made a few live stream appearances with Graham and Fiona. How many times did I do it? I know it was in February, April, twice in June, November when they had Trevor over at their house, Trevor and Gwen, and Sebastian too. And I made about 4 Christmas live stream appearances with them both this time. So I pioneered making a live stream appearance on Graham and Fiona's Christmas live streams, and as well as their general live streams whenever they sometimes do it. And I even pioneered appearing on Trevor's live streams. I was his first guest for 2024, and I'm honoured, and I'm extremely grateful to Trevor for that I was his first guest for 2024 on a live, and I had a ball with Trevor. So many, all of you, it was extremely nice of you to have, worried for me, and look how really, really so many people, my followers as well as Trevor's following included, they were really worried about how I was going to perform with my interview with Trevor. But they were just so surprised and impressed at how well I did, and I got praised quite a lot for that. So can I thank all of you for your kindly endearment and your appraisal towards me for how I performed on Trevor's live stream. Thank you. It really meant a lot. I was not scared one little bit. No, you didn't need one. It was very, very nice and lovely of you to have worried for and looked out for me, but I wasn't scared. I wasn't one little bit nervous, no. I was actually really looking forward to it when I got the offer. I was like, I'm going to do it. I was like, I'd like me some of that. And I just took the bull by the horns and I did it with Trevor. We had a good, really, really fun 1 hour together. 1 hour of question and answer, and of course bantering. And also having chats with his live following in the comments down below. And all that, it is live following, so it was a extremely fun and highly enlightening experience. And same with Graham and Fiona too. And I made 1 or 2 appearances with a few other YouTubers, certainly Duchess Blair included. I'm definitely looking forward to making more live stream appearances with Duchess Blair in the future, sharing political insights and royal insights and things with her. She was very nice to me. She actually said that I was very cute, and she said some things about my accent. Oh, a lot of people say a lot of things about my voice. And she said to me she likes it how young people think they're old. Duchess Blair, you're brilliant. And Duchess Blair, you're a fantastic highlight for 2024 when encountering your content, and you for the first time. And you, Sue. Sue said something nice about me. She's like, is this guy for real? It was about me. She said, is this guy for real? I just love his accent. Thank you, Sue. Thank you. That was very nice of you to have said so, Sue. And another highlight for 2024. Oh my goodness. I made a live stream appearance with a friend who I love just to bits. Never could I once take her for granted in a lifetime. And I love her to bits just so very, very deeply. I made about 3 or 4 live stream appearances with Michelle Pope. Oh, is this a moment I'm never gonna forget in a lifetime? Making a live stream appearances with Michelle Pope. Michelle Pope, most of you know already. She was the wonderful, delightful lady, and very lovingly friendly, if above and beyond anything, who said such a very touching compliment towards me back in November of 2023. What she said to me was, you are the epitome of a true gentleman, through and through, which I'd like to say is very refreshing in this day and age. Which really did touch me. It's had a lasting, touching effect on me, what she said to me, you know. I knew one person in real life who was a true gentleman. There was one man and one man only who I could truly depict this in, and that was nobody other than my wonderful late grandfather Edmund, as he was a true gentleman in every way. Nothing could have beaten his qualities of his core depth of personality traits, and to be considered something and somebody who I really loved and looked up to and was very close to when growing up. That really is touching. You know, even now I'm sometimes still crying over that moment. I still cry. Yes. I'm not gonna cry, no. You know, I'm really not. You know, no, but I really always thank Michelle profusely for what she said to me. I love Michelle, I really do. I mean, who couldn't love Michelle Pope? I love her too dearly. And Michelle came on a few live streams of mine, but I did do something to Michelle that I was actually ended up feeling very ashamed of. Was I was making comments about her appearance when I should not have done so. It was about her size, and then she said it, I said it once the moment I saw her on the live, and Sapper was somebody who said, he said, Foxy, stop referring to a lady's weight or otherwise you'll get the black eye. Be a gentleman. And I was like, Michelle, I cannot tell you how very sorry I am for what I did. And she was like, Foxy, what could you have done to upset me? I'm at a loss. You did nothing to upset me. Please be assured of that, dear Foxy. And she said and another thing, in 2024, a lot of you saw what she looked like for the first time, because Mother and I, we did a podcast together, and it was very enormously well received. I was impressed at how well received the podcast was, and I mean, really, thank you for those of you who took part in it. And thank you for all of you who said some very nice compliments about my mother. A lot of you said my mother is beautiful. And Mother took well to the compliments, by the way, and she says thank you to all of you. And yes, before one asks, yes, Mother does look too young to be my mother, doesn't she? Who, at 47 this year, and looking about over 20 years younger, and could only possibly be about 30, 29 or 30, I know. She is quite remarkably impressive. I mean, despite not being very fortunate for health, she's remarkably impressive, my mother. And both my parents are remarkably impressive, who graduated university with 2 very good degrees. So they've done well, my parents. They've done very well in their over 40 years, in their nearly 50 years of the life they've lived and led, And, other notable highlights for 2024 include encountering some other extraordinary newfound friends of mine. Sea Gypsy, lovely Sea Gypsy, who I encountered through Duchess Blur, and she said some very nice compliments. She said it's so nice to see such a well-mannered young man. And another notable highlight from 2024 was Wanda Badgerow. Oh, and she said something quite touching to me. She said, "You are the perfect gentleman any mother would want for their daughter to marry." And she's got a granddaughter, a year younger than I, who's interested in dating me, because I said I don't have a girlfriend. She said, "Oh," the moment she learned this, she was like, she just wanted she could date me. And she even said I was a handsome young man. Wanda did. Thank you for the compliments. I got this quite a lot at one point, before I put weight on, that is. I'm not overweight, no, but obviously some people are through no control of their own health-wise, and that's not something to joke about. So yes, but Wanda was a lovely highlight, and her granddaughter Sophie. And the other notable highlight for 2024, the 2 very, very lovingly friendly ladies, Pamela Morrow and Pamela Garza. I wish I knew these ladies a long time ago. If anything, I wish they'd known my parents when I was a child. Honestly, she would have been brilliant to my brother and I when we were children. Those ladies, they would have been fantastic. And actually, I could well be a little boy to them in real life, because not only am I younger than them, but I'm also shorter too. So I could really be a little boy to them both. And that was what I said. I said, well, because I'm shorter than you, Pamela, I could be your little boy in one way or another. And plus, I'm younger too. And she was like, yes, you could be my child, couldn't you? She said it in her most lovingly nice way. And that was very nice of her to have said so. Pamela Morrow, she's a grandmother herself, by the way, as is Pamela Garza. Oh, and Pamela Garza, she's such a lovingly friendly lady. Anything to describe her, beyond words, she's just so loving to me. Very, very friendly too. I wouldn't change having a friendship with Pamela Morrow or Pamela Garza. I wouldn't change having a friendship with either one of them. So that was another notable highlight for 2024. And, sorry, I need to check the time now. Okay, now we're doing alright for time, we're doing okay. And, oh yes, and another good notable highlight. No, but they were all very supportive of Pamela Morrow and Pamela Garza. They always are. They always well and truly are. And their mothers themselves. You know? Both are mothers themselves. Children who are older than I. I have children who are older than I. You know? And, so yes, that was another notable highlight. The lovingly ladies. But Pamela Garza is just a wonderful grandmother to her grandchildren. And obviously a lot of her grandchildren, she gets a hell of a lot of affection from her grandchildren. One key point to that is her grandchildren, the little ones, just hug her legs. And I was like, well, not to worry, they'll grow out of it eventually. But then she was like, it was quite touching to have personally heard this or seen it from her. She said, but I don't want them to grow out of hugging my legs. I love it when they hug my legs. Oh, that's quite touching. She says, the leg hugs are the best, and even giving grandchildren the cuddles are the best. Oh. I mean, that's a lovely thing to have been said from Pamela. And I think she was going through quite a bit of worry earlier this year, was because her father had a few health complaints, and quite a few, which got to the point of quite a few hospital visits as a result. And she said that he had it quite tough. But fingers crossed, prayers hoping your father does better for 2025, Pamela. It's not nice to be put through the pains with health trouble, isn't it? Oh no. But hoping he gets well soon, my lovely. You know, hoping he has a better year for health for 2025. Because when I heard this reminded me of my mother's health trouble in 2023. Because my mother, not only was there the health trouble for Christmas, but she had it quite tough months before, going twice to hospital in 2023. So my mother too had it quite tough for 2023 for health, in the comparable way to how Pamela Garza's father had it tough for health for 2024. So I'm prayers hoping for better health for both of them. You know, but that was a notable highlight, encountering Pamela. And the moment I encountered Pamela, I found it so easy not only to just like her. Not only did I immediately like her very, very much, but it was so easy to love her. She's so easy to love, Pamela is. I really found it very easy to love her and her dearly loved husband. I really did. And I wouldn't change being friends with Pamela. I really wouldn't. You know. And of course, and she's very protective of me, Pamela is. As are all of you who follow me. You know. And Pamela Morrow's protective of me as well. And another thing the two Pamelas and I have in common is we're both cat owners. Both of us are cat owners. Or as Pamela Morrow would so describe, her cats are her fur kids. A very nice, lovingly way to describe it. You know, and and I even made up a fictional tale, when I went over to see Pamela and her husband in Texas. It was just a daydream, an imaginative daydream I had. And one evening I was going to go down to the pub. I was like, okay, well, right, I think I'm going to go off to the pub now for a nice little drink. And then Pamela stops me from going, and she's like, where do you think you're going? I was like, but I'm old enough to go to. And she was like, I'm sorry, no. It's too dangerous for you. It's too dangerous. I was like, but I'm a grown man. He said, no. It's too dangerous, I'm afraid. You're not going there. No. I'm sorry, but no. I was like, oh dear. And she's like, oh come on. She said, look, Foxy, I know I'm being very protective, but this was obviously not real life, by the way, just to confirm to you all. And then just walking over and giving me an unconditional, lovingly tight handheld hugging embrace. She was like, ended up saying, whilst doing it, said, "I just can't stand the idea of you getting hurt." And obviously I give in to the hugging embrace as well. And then I understand as to why I was stopped. Not in real life, but in the daydream. And another highlight for 2024 was encountering lovely Zeph and her 2 German Shepherd dogs. And she's very, very fiercely protective of me. She was like, "Foxy, I want you to be safe on here, please, my boy. I love you like a mama bear." And she's often hanging around in my live streams, lovely Zeph. There's always a howdy, howdy, Zeph, howdy, howdy, and hugs always. And that's another highlight. And another highlight was lovely lady Ginger Gruzius, Texas resident that is. Nice lady, and she said some very nice things about me. And Lils, in, I think, Shropshire she's located, who came from Trevor, by the way, Lils. Ginger at first wasn't so sure about me, but once she got to watch my content over time, she warmed up to me very well, and I immediately, and we're like, it's almost like, you know, we have quite a nice relationship, Ginger and I, we really do. Heather Arredondo, obviously, because I mentioned her, oh, lovely lady. Quake, oh, who couldn't love Quake Girl? She's brilliant. She's a grandmother. She is, and she's said some very nice things about me, and she's always a lot of fun on my live streams. Great, great fun she is. The highlight about her is how fun, she's got her fun personality, and her lovingly endearing personality too. Because she's very, very fondly close of her children and grandchildren, that is. Lovely Quake Girl. And she said something, because I was opening up about what it meant to me encountering David. I actually opened up what it meant encountering David and the events he introduced me to, which did personally touch David himself, but Quake Girl was particularly touched. But she said, because of how I was feeling at the time, she said, "It really hurts me to hear you were so destroyed when you met David. I'm happy he helped turn things around for you. I'm really happy David did turn things around. The event attending David introduced me. I cannot begin to describe how thankfully pleased I am. I'm certainly thankful to David for how it really did turn things around for me, and it was the big turning point in my life, you know." You know, so yes, and I even did tell David this personally. And he was like, "I'm only too pleased I introduced you to these events, given your circumstances at the time." Another good highlight was meeting Jonathan more than I did in 2023 and 2024. Jonathan Clements, that is. And Maureen Ingleston, oh, she's lovely. Lovely Maureen. Nutmeg was a wonderful highlight, because she's always wonderful and friendly. Certainly to me, and we get on well. And she's a cat owner like how we are at home. Daphne Nixie, to reference, that is, you know. But her cat is Blinky, not Daphne Nixie. Just to reaffirm the point. And another highlight was becoming personally closer to Marcia and Melvin Toms. You know, Marcia and Melvin Toms, I mean, I've always got on well with them. I first encountered them, I first remember them when I first encountered Graham and Fiona's content, you know. And then they remember me from when Fiona unexpectedly represented my content. But over time, we really saw that we had similar values. Marcia, Melvin and I. We had similar values, and over time we took a great understanding to one another. We always were friends, but we just got closer. Throughout 2024, we really got closer. I think it might have been because of the live streams I was doing. I think because it might have given them something to do and watch and things. You know, and all that. So we saw the understanding values in one another, and that was a personally quite a touching highlight. And a lovely highlight for 2024, that is. With Master Melvin and I, and of course her pets, Master Wookie, a black and white, a big black and white tomcat, Lady Lily, a fluffy moggy, a fairly small fluffy moggy, and little girl Sky, a small white Westie, who's smaller than Wookie, believe this or not. Well, shorter in height, about similar size length, but very, very different for size and height. Wookie is the big boy out of all the pets, and about twice the size of Lily, apparently, according to Marcia. You know, I mean, despite having run into a troubling obstacle, it was one troubling obstacle I ran in with Marcia and Melvin. I'm not going to say what it was because I do not want them getting attacked, and you know, but for those of you who want to know what it was I got into trouble with them for, privately, I will tell you, but I'm not going to say what it is publicly. You know, but it did teach me. I was forgiven. Lucky for me, I was forgiven, because it could have gone the other way, as is the case with certain incidents, for some, independence of one's circumstances. You know. And so yes, just to say. And another 2024 highlight, Sapper. Oh, Sapper, he's one of my best friends. I wouldn't change having a friendship with Sapper for the world. I really wouldn't. And Sapper pioneered content creation with his software AI-created musical videos and musical live streams talking about artists from many years ago, namely 1980s. He doesn't do what I'm interested in, which is 1940s wartime music, or 1950s, 60s pop, or 1930s, or centuries-old classical music. He doesn't do what the musical stuff I'm into, but his is namely revolved around 1980s stuff. But it's okay. It's okay. But one, astonish one as it might, I don't think I know any 23-year-old men, or men over the age of 20, who like old wartime music, or 1930s music, or even the 1926 musical song, "Keep right on to the end of the road, keep right on to the end." You know? I don't know many like that. So yes, just to say. So SAP was obviously a fantastic 2024 highlight. And also, but all of you, my wonderful new friends, you were a wonderful highlight, and others including Harriet. Harriet and I had something in common. When growing up, we were both very, very close to our grandfathers when growing up. And another 2024 highlight was encountering lovely lovely Lady Meggsy, who even said that I was very handsome when I made my appearance on Graham and Fiona's live stream. Sometimes having a chat with Canada was a good 2024 highlight, and all the rest of things, you know. And obviously 2024 highlights, obviously every time I was encountering David Scott, my bestie, and going out event attending with him. And going to the railways, I did quite a bit of miniature railway attending for 2024, and still intending. I'm not going to do as much miniature railway attending in 2025. You know, I mean, I've got to an age now where it's not time to. I'm never going to stop miniature railway attending, but I'm going to slow it down, because there's a lot of potential with event attending. I mean, unless under certain circumstances that there was no event going on and all that, I would miniature railway attend in those circumstances. But when it coincides with an event, it's time to do the event attending, for me personally. But I had a good over 10 years, nearly 10 years of miniature railway attending more often. Still going to do it, but albeit not as much now that there's so much potential, because I've since it took me quite a few years to realise this since I got into the event attending affinity. It took me 3 years to realise this in all that since 2021, which is when I got into the event attending affinity outside of railways, that is. It took me all those years to realise how much potential they well and truly bring. Valuable potential is what I'm talking about here. And also, and another thing was, it was because of Dave Bryan. He said, "You do miniature railway tending a lot, why not give this event a change?" And it really did make me think about it. It really did. So I thank Dave for that. And it really did make me realise something when Dave did tell this to me. You know. Just to say. So, yes. So that was quite a highlight. You know, and I'm still intending to do the usual events I'm known to attend. And oh yes, another 2024 highlight was pioneering going to Brooklands Museum. And I'm hoping to go more than once in 2025 to Brooklands. Enchanted place, Brooklands Museum. Highly enchanted place. I definitely want to go there again, for sure. You know. And all that, so those are some valuable highlights. Railway and event attending, be it the bus rally events, Worthing bus rally, East Grinstead bus rally, Tenterden bus rally, not to mention, Magnificent Motors, Wheels on the Waterfront, Tinkers Park, only went to Tinkers Park once, Lawton only did twice. I was going to go to the spring one, but I had an injury. Fortunately, I did not have to go to hospital for it, but it was just a minor one. And I did, and something that was not terribly amusing that I had to do in 2024 was I had to have earwax suctioned out of my ears due to hearing difficulty. Fortunately, the hearing's okay now, since the wax got suctioned out of it. You know, so I'm happy that got done. And once the suction came out, my hearing felt as good as new. It just felt as good as new when it happened. And all that. So Detling, obviously a highlight. Hastings commemorative military vehicle event. And, you know, and also looking after my friend's cats. I can't remember the names now. It was, Kate and Benjamin's cats they were, but I forgot their names. I'm beginning to forget. No, oh no. Because normally I can remember things, but I'm beginning to forget some things now. No, but a very cuddly cat, who was partially Maine Coon whenever I cuddled them. Whenever I cuddled him, he was very, very soft and cuddly. Oh, I could just cuddle him all the time. And, oh my goodness, wow. Am I missing anything out? I certainly hope not. You know. So many highlights, you know. Obviously a lot of event attending. And a few rail enthusiasts. You know. A few bus trips and such. And a few rail trips. And things. Certainly live streaming. Pioneering live streaming. Oh, yes. Now I'm beginning to get to this now. Encountering Danette and Anthony was a fantastic 2024 highlight. Danette and Anthony are a fantastic and a marvellous couple. I could just view their content any day. Honestly, I love them to bits. And I'm hoping to interview them in 2025. Fantastic couple. And another 2024 highlight was encountering a nice new friend called Karen Morell from Annabelle's content. And also, Karen saw me twice making an appearance on Annabelle's content. And I made a few live stream appearances with Annabelle, lovely Annabelle. Even when I came on a live of her, she was like, "There's my guy," and said it about me. Very nice of you, Annabelle, to have said so. And also did it with Wifey too on the live stream. Lovely Wifey. I'd do a live with Wifey any day. Stunningly gorgeous and very pretty lady, Wifey. Destiny's made a few appearances with Annabelle, and she's she's a beauty herself. A very pretty lady. But Wifey, oh my goodness, she's a stunner. She is one well and true stunner. I couldn't get over how pretty she looked. And Annabelle's very pretty herself as well. But Wifey, my, she is a stunner. I was almost knocked out when I saw what she looked like. I don't think I could imagine my grandmothers ever being stunners when the grandchildren came along, including myself and all that. You know, but that was a highlight, a nice highlight, you know. And all that. And another 2024 highlight, encountering lovely Lady Charlie. Oh, sometimes I feel like I'm very protective of Charlie. I could just give her a nice long protective hug if I could. As I was saying, and she was like, oh, that's very nice of you, Foxy. And she was going through quite a hard time because her mother died on what was my birthday, very, very suddenly. And she was very adversely affected by this. No, but her friendship was a good highlight for 2024, but I just felt so sorry for her when she lost her mother. And obviously the highlights for 2024, encountering many wonderful classic card enthusiasts and event-attending enthusiasts whilst I was event-attending throughout 2024. Those are always the highlights when you're event-attending. And a particular highlight, I met a 75-year-old classic car owner who had well over 100 Chevys over the course of his lifetime in a period of about 50 years. Very, very impressive and a very interesting highlight. And in his 70s. And all those Chevys he'd had all those years, over the years. Impressive. And, you know, so yes. And another highlight for 2024 was doing twice monthly pub visits, because I visit a pub twice monthly. And would I recommend twice monthly pub visits to any of you? I certainly would. Indeed so, yes, I most certainly would. Yes, yes. But, and all that. And also another 2024 highlight was seeing Paddington in Peru in the movie theatre on the 26th of November of 2024. And that, oh, now a lot of people, and certainly many of you would likely say, a lot of new modern day movies are rubbish. That is certainly as truth has things for the majority of new modern day movies for the last 6-7 years or so. But movies like Paddington in Peru, it's certainly not done to death. I would say it's definitely not done to death, in my opinion. I think if out of all modern day movies I've personally seen, even though I do agree, and definitely having seen for myself, older movies are certainly considerably better than newer ones, Paddington in Peru, or all the Paddington movies, I love them greatly. And the Downton Abbey movies, brilliant, and the television series. Those are newer movies I preferably like compared to most other modern day movies, I've got to say. And certainly the same could be said for a lot of modern day television. It's not very rubbish. And, And also another nice 2024 highlight was Martin Sullivan. And Martin said that I was better than the television, or nicer than the television. And that was very nice of him. And also meeting Loco was a nice 2024 highlight. Sapper, whenever he sees a picture of us, he's like, 2x skinny gits. Well, we are skinny men, aren't we? Well, he's going to be leaving school this year, Loco is. Although he could pass at being about 21, he's actually of school, soon to be leaving school, even though he looks too old for it. And he's very mature for his age. Impressively, and he made a few appearances, and he really presented himself very well. We met about 4 times, and we're going to hopefully meet more times in 2025, you know. Very good friend. He's a very good friend, you know, and he's an older brother like I, you know, so he's very good to people, and I even met his parents, you know, so we've definitely got a friendship in our future. So yes, that was certainly a notable highlight for 2024. And of course, Sapper and I, we hit it off with bantering. And since encountering Sapper, like it or not, I've really lowered my filter with language disgracefully. I've disgracefully lowered my filter with what language I use with whenever live streaming. It takes, you know, because I've sworn quite a lot with live streaming. No, I really, because normally I don't often swear, but since encountering Sapper and his humour, nothing could beat his humour, and because of his humour and things, I thought, okay, I'd like to give it a go. I'd like to disgracefully lower my filter, and there we go. And I think, last but not least, another highlight in terms of, you know, YouTube circumstances, and obviously I shared outside of YouTube circumstances. It was namely with the event attending, it was general events, but obviously pioneered, it was the new ones I pioneered going to, was the main notable highlights for 2024, that is. You know, the other 2024 highlight was bantering obviously with Sapper. But another 2024 highlight was encountering the lovely Deborah Chellingworth. And of course Deborah Coleman. I heard from Deborah Coleman quite a few more times than I otherwise would have. And I even heard from the first time the Coleman children, Deborah's children, following my content. You know, and little did I know, Deborah introduced my content to her children and her bestie. Deborah's the one, the 5'6" lady, who was friends with a very, very tall, full 7-foot man. You know. Well, the penultimate final 2024 highlight, but Deborah was lots of fun. Deborah Coleman's a lot of fun in my content, especially when it comes to live streaming. Even Jeanette and Anthony encountered my content, you know. And I even, you know, I just found them by random, Jeanette and Anthony. I just found them by random. They were doing a late night New York time live stream. I just came on it, and I just got immersed. I think they were about an hour and a half into live streaming. I just stayed till the end and got immersed with their very, very funny, comically laid back funny humour. And all their following they encountered, and coincidentally, about an hour or so after I encountered Jeanette and Anthony, Gertrude came on. Gertrude. Brilliant. Lovely lady Gertrude is, and that inspired me to do the late night live streaming, you know, seeing a couple having such a good time with such laid back humour. It inspired me so much to do a late night live, and I thought after seeing that, it was New York time, so it was early hour UK hours, morning hours that is. It was in August of this year, that was, and after seeing it I thought, I'd like me some of that, and I just took the bull by the horns and did the late night lives sometimes, and Dinesh and Anthony even said to me, funny accidents happen, don't they, sometimes? They're very right on that, aren't they? And the penultimate highlights for 2024, before we get to the final highlight of 2024, was Donna Evans, lovely lady Donna Evans, who I encountered through Duchess Blair, by the way. If it wasn't for Duchess Blair, we'd never have met. Elaine Williams, our friendship deepened, a deepening friendship with Elaine Williams, lovely lady. And all that. And then there's a few other Maureen's, Maureen Gill, and a Maureen, I can't remember her surname, but I spoke to her earlier on. Teddy Beard, lovely lady Teddy Beard. And so many other wonderful newfound friends. All of you, my wonderful newfound friends I encountered. And certainly Snowy, of course, not to mention. And Me Just Me. Lovely Me Just Me. Very, very loving lady. She is such a lovely, lovely lady. All of them enchanted highlights because of the newfound friendship I found in you. That is. And of course the final 2024 highlight, Deborah Chellingworth. Oh, is she lovely. Deborah's a grandmother herself. She's got only one 18-year-old grandson. And she lives in Queensland in Australia. She's Australian. And a few times I saw her into my live streams. She said, I'm making a doll. And she said, I'm trying to make a doll with your face shape. Oh, I mean, Deborah was very, very appealed to my face shape in the way Pamela Garza is very appealed to my head of hair. Deborah was very, very appealed to my face shape because she was figuring out how to make a doll with my shaped face. Honestly, that was pretty funny. But she really has a very loving side towards me because she views me as a grandson, because her grandson, who's 18, younger than I, and because I'm only just a few years older, at almost 24, she views me as a grandson. And she said, I've only got one grandson and I love him to bits. I don't know if she's got any granddaughters or not, but she's certainly got a grandson. Oh, she's so lovely, Deborah. No, she really is a very, very lovingly friendly lady, Deborah is, and I love her to bits, I really do. I would not change having a friendship with Deborah for the world. I really wouldn't, you know. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't change having a friendship with any of you. And I did have a bit of a disappointment for 2024. The disappointment was, I was due to see my friends, Mary and Glenn, but they sadly could not make it to England because they planned a holiday to England. But Glenn had health problems. Well, he had aching problems, and when the doctor discovered it, so they had to pull out of going to England. They're friends of mine who are classic car owners, just to say, and cat owners too, Mary and Glenn. You know, so they couldn't go to England, unfortunately. They were going to do England, Scotland, Wales, but hopefully another time in the future I'll encounter them, or one day I'll go over to see Mary and Glenn, to see them in the United States of America. I'll go and see them in America. You know, in the future, I'm certainly happy to do so. You know, but they're so lovely, Mary and Glenn. You know, and I love Mary and Glenn, and you know, Marcia and Melvin, they're quite like Mary and Glenn, personality-wise, genuinely friendly, genuinely very, very nice, friendly couple, they are. Mary and Glenn and Marcia and Melvin, you know. I have a very, very strongly fond side to the four of them. You know, we understand each other and we have a lot of values in our friendship, the four of us. You know. So yes, but and other few things that 2024 did come with some learning lessons, and actually quite some strong learning lessons I experienced in 2024. The strong learning lessons I experienced in 2024 was getting into trouble 3 times for fat shaming my following supporters to the point where it truly hurt their feelings. I got told, I did get a telling off for this 3 times, which forcibly stopped me from doing weight bantering here. Because, you know, every time Sapper came on, he'd be, skinny git, hello, and then I'd eventually, at first, when he called me a skinny git at first, I was like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to throw back at him. But once he revealed his weight to me, I was like, oh my goodness, that's huge. And he was like, oi, piss off, mate. You know, and then I eventually chucked back at him every time I heard from him. I chucked back at him, oh, well, I was like, oh, well, hello, Sapper, hello, huge git, and a great big, and all that sort of stuff, you know. So it was skinny git versus huge git. He chucked back at me the skinny git, and eventually I chucked back at him in return, humorously, out of the banter we did together, bantering our mouths off. Huge git. You know, it just went back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. But this later on, this is when the problems began, was I started to chuck it at other people. Once I found out what their weight was, I would just chuck back at them things like petite or skinny or big or huge git at them. Which eventually led to a major fat shaming incident, and then I had to stop with that. We do it privately, the banter, Sapper and I, but we don't do it on a live now because of the incident. So there we are. But 2024, lots of highlights, so much to look forward to, so much to look back on, so many reflective memories to happily look back on from 2024. You know, talking about one's year in review, or reviewing your year once the calendar year proceeds happen. It's something I'm used to doing, and I do this every year, reviewing the previous year once a new year has sprung into view and all that. You know, just to say. But really, I just had to share with all of you my 2024 calendar year in review. It's been a good year. I mean, it's gone as well, nearly as well as 2023, you know. And I'm really looking forward to how this year's going to go. I mean, 2025 for me, it's going to be the year where I'm going to make many more things happen. That is, yes. I'm going to make many more things happen for 2025, you know. But listen, all of you, can I thank all of you for 2024 and all of your support you've shown towards me throughout the 2024 calendar year, and certainly at the start, and also additionally the support you've shown me in the starting proceeds of the 2025 calendar year. Thank you. And may we look towards 2024 with very, very many things to plan for, because there's a lot to live for, isn't there? And certainly a lot to plan for, because, you know, life is for living, isn't it? You know, because this year, it's the year to make things happen when we plan things, isn't it, for 2025? Go, go, 2025! And I'm going to live proof it's the year to make things happen! Yes. Can I thank each and every one of you all most very greatly sincere. Oh, I forgot another thing. Another 2024 highlight, encountering Dave from Savage Dave. And he actually said something quite personally touching about me. He said that I give him goosebumps. That was very nice of him to have said so. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. So, here we are. We're looking to 2025, with making things happen with whatever plans and intentions we've got. And of course, obviously outside of important stuff and things, obviously, not when we're doing important stuff. And we're also going to look to it with happiness, aren't we? A year to make things happen and look towards with happiness for 2025. Yes. Thank you all, everybody, for sincerely, kindly taking the time to listening to all that I had to review for 2024. Please do let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching. So I've got to check the time. Thank you all for watching, and here is to 2025. Touch on all for now, another time. From Foxy, most sincerely. Goodbye, and may your 2025 be a fantastic one. And also additionally, may good wishes and may good wishes be bringing you greatness of happiness and enchantment, and also may happiness be knocking kindly on your doorstep. Here's to 2025.